Okay, today I'm going to show you my recipe for sweet corn tamale cakes. You can make this vegan like I'm doing now. You can always add some shredded chicken or shredded pork or whatever on top, but I'm going to show you this one now. I'm going to start with half a cup of this tamale. It's corn flour. It's made for tamales. Very good stuff. Cornmeal is going to be a little bit grittier. You don't want to use that. So in goes half a cup of the corn flour, about a tablespoon of sugar. I use sugar in the raw. A little bit of salt. Some avocado oil. This is going to keep it moist so it doesn't turn into corn toast. I use about a tablespoon of avocado oil. I have a can of Kirkland corn. You can use frozen corn or fresh corn off the cob. And you want to chop it very fine. You can use a blender, but I use a knife. Make sure you use a very sharp knife. And that goes in. The other half of the corn is not chopped. It's just whole kernel. That goes in. And now I'm going to heat up my pan before I get my hands dirty. Just need a medium heat. Again, I'm going to use avocado oil. And you just need enough to coat the bottom of the pan. You don't need too much. There we go, move that around. I'm going to mix this until I get a nice, good mixture. Don't be afraid to get in there and really work it. You don't want it to be inconsistent. And the idea is to make a little bit equal portions of cookies. So I usually divide it a little bit here so I can see how much I've got. I'm going to make 4 today. And you want to sculpt them like a hamburger, about ½ inch thick, about 3-4 inches in diameter. And you notice the starch in the chopped corn helps hold this together. When you chop it up really fine, it brings out that starch. It gets nice and sticky, keeps the patty from falling apart when it's cooking. And I'll let my pan get hot. Put that aside. Not quite hot yet. You notice I am holding it this way and rolling it around, moving the inside of the patty out to the outside. Show you that again. Now I'm wearing gloves. You don't have to wear gloves. It's just this is, sticky, oily, gooey, and I want to get to it. If you use gloves, make sure you use powder-free gloves so you don't have talc powder all over your food. And I can see the oil bubbling, so I know it's time to put them in. Smush them down just a little bit. Make sure it has a good contact with the pan. That one's a bit smaller, but it'll be all right. I'm going to make some pico de gallo. Start with 1 tomato chopped, a bit less than equal of white onion, about 1 ounce of lemon juice fresh squeezed, a little bit of ionized salt, kosher salt, whatever you prefer, chopped jalapeno. Use a spoon for this. You got to check the jalapeno for its level of hotness. Not all jalapenos are the same, and you never know what you're going to get. If you get a really hot one, you just use less. Chopped cilantro, about 1 ounce. Finely chopped cilantro, one of my favorites. Fresh minced garlic, about 1 clove. You can add more if you want, depending on your taste. There's really no rules for pico de gallo. And give that a stir, let that soak while these are cooking. Oh yeah, that already smells fantastic. Now again with these, I'm going to put this aside. And next we're going to start on our avocado cream sauce. But I wanted to mention that it's important to cook this at a medium heat. They take some time. You want to 8 minutes about on each side, and don't flip them more than once. It affects the way that you get a nice crust if you just leave it there and let it cook. So I'm going to smush up this avocado. Fork will work just fine. There we go, looks pretty good. Now what I did when I was preparing the avocado is I put 2 slices aside, and we're going to use that for the dressing to make it look pretty when we're done. We'll get back to that later. And I used some low-fat sour cream. You can use whatever kind of sour cream you want, regular fat. And just mix that together till you get a nice consistency. All right, that looks fantastic. We're going to put that aside. And then I'm going to prepare my drizzle. If you don't have one of those fancy little squirt bottles that chefs have, no problem. Get a small Ziploc bag. I fill this up with ranch dressing, low-fat ranch, of course. And I'm going to use a Mexican hot sauce, tapatio, or whatever, however you pronounce it, tapatio. And based on taste, a couple of squirts in there should do it. Mix it together. Okay, and you want to work your mixture down to one end. Grab that tip and just cut the smallest little bit off. Not much. And make sure you dispose of that little plastic piece properly. You don't want to put that in your food. All right, so now I'm going to show you what we've got here. We've got fresh pico de gallo, avocado cream. I have a ranch or spicy ranch drizzle that I made, and then we have a couple of slices of fresh avocado. When these are ready to flip, you can always tell because they begin to smoke a little. Almost ready to flip. You can see some smoke there. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but you can see a little bit of smoke. That's how you know that the other side is starting to brown. If you let that keep going, of course it'll burn. So I'm going to go ahead and flip them now. A nice, oh perfect, nice and crispy there. I use a metal spatula. I found that the silicone or plastic, whatever you might use, seems to grip the middle and split the cake apart. So a good metal spatula and a cast iron pan seems to be the best way to cook these. Oh yeah, perfect, very nice. I push them down to get a good contact with the pan, but if you push them down too much, you will squeeze all the moisture out and the cakes will get dry, and you don't want that. I'm going to go ahead and cook them for about another 5 minutes maybe. I have a medium heat, and I'm just going to keep an eye on them. I might even reduce the heat just one little notch. Every stove is different. I started them on 6, and now I'm on 5.5. If you cook them too fast, then of course the inside will be mushy and the outside will be crisp. What you want is a nice even temperature throughout the cakes. So go ahead and take your time. This is a good 10-12 minute cooking venture. Keep your eye on them. If they start to smoke a little bit too much, then your heat is too high. I'm going to take a peek just to ensure that my temperature is not too high. Okay, I can see this one is just starting to smoke. A little bit of smoke coming off of this one. They are almost there. All right, let's take a look at this one. All right, that's perfect. Just a little brown, little crust there. And I'm going to take this one and put it aside because I'm not eating quite so much. If I had more than one person, I might save these. I might not save these. So I'm just going to use a little bit of foil and wrap them up. And that will go in the fridge. And that's going to make a nice meal for me tomorrow. And I'll show you how we're going to dress these. Put this right in the middle. Now what I did off camera was I took the juice from my pico de gallo and I put that aside. It's highly acidic, the lemon, tomato, the peppers, the onion, and it's going to make a great marinade for a shrimp dish that I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to make shrimp burritos. So I'm just going to put that aside. The avocado cream goes on first. Make a nice little hole in the middle there. So precious, I don't want to waste any. The pico de gallo, take a nice round spoonful and place it right in the middle. I like my pico de gallo, so I'm going to get a big pile of it. And the slices of avocado, you put right on top, just like this. These are the ones pieces I put aside when I was making the avocado cream. Oh, I broke it. That's okay, it tastes the same. And for my dressing, oh man, there you go. Oh, and just squirt back and forth until it looks delicious. And that is the sweet corn tamale cakes. I'm going to enjoy this. Have a bite. Oh my god. Yeah, that's delicious.